Hi again, this is Simon again. Okay, so we've got to talk about DV 2020, people. And as you can see, I'm playing with my dog as we go here, so excuse me just doing that. So the people have asked me, lots of people are concerned about whether the lawsuit will help them or not, right? And the reality is, as time has gone on, even though we started this lawsuit action 2 or 3 weeks ago now, even then we were running out of time, and time has gone on a little bit more. The embassies still haven't opened, and so we're in a position where we have to be realistic about who can be helped by this. So there are some groups of people that I want to sort of categorize to explain who is most likely to be helped and under what conditions those people could be helped, right? And let's see if by answering those questions or by describing those categories, I'm hoping you can figure out where your chances lie and how much hope you can have left at this point. All right, so there are, I think, about 4 or 5 groups of people or categories of people that I would describe. The first category of people is people that had previously been to the embassy, they had had their interviews, they had been issued their visas, and they were before the original ban, which was April 22nd. They had their visa in their hands, right? Those people have excuse me. Those people have paid their fees, they've set their medicals, they've gone through all the background checks, they've complied with everything that was asked of them, and they got their visa, right? Those people should absolutely have been able to complete their immigration to the United States, but were blocked because of the COVID situation, the coronavirus. The ban never applied to them. In terms of the immigrant ban, if you have a visa, you were not affected. Although there are a lot of people who are in the Schengen area or in the UK and various countries where if you've been in those countries, you're not allowed to enter directly to the USA without having spent 2 weeks in some other country, the non-banned country, prior to entry to the USA. So that's caused problems, just traveling problems, because those people could be sitting there with a valid visa right now, but they can't travel somewhere else, they can't stay somewhere else, and then be sure that they can enter the USA. So that's been difficult, and those people obviously are what I would say category number 1 of people that need to get some sort of relief. Hopefully from the lawsuit, they would get some relief. Or a clarification by the embassies and Department of State that those people actually can be issued with visas. We have a very confusing situation at the moment where where we've got different embassies saying different things. We've even had embassies reissue expired visas in a way that I've explained on my website. There's a procedure you can follow to get the visa reissued. Is not an extension, it's a reissuance of the visa. So your visa has to have expired, you have to have been unable to travel, etc., and you have to pay the medical fees again and pay the interview fee again, but at least you can get that reissued, right? So those people should be able to get their visas, but we've had embassies say no, you can't have that visa reissued because it's impacted by the ban. We need clarification about that. It may be that some embassies have got that wrong, but we don't know which way that is, and so the Department of State need to respond to the questions that I and other people have asked them in a more clear way. And if they won't do that, then the lawsuit should hopefully achieve some clarity about that, and perhaps even a judge could say, well, those people need to get those visas reissued if they want them. That has to happen before the end of September. September 30th is the deadline. The reissuance has to happen by that time. The travel period can go beyond the September 30th deadline, but the reissuance has to happen within the fiscal year. So those people is my number 1 group that I think should be helped. My number 2 group are people that have sat through the interview, paid all the fees, etc., had the medical, and for whatever reason, as of the point when the embassies closed or the ban came into place, their cases were not ready to approve yet. But now, sometime later, they're able to be approved. So anyway, those people that have been through the process, the AP process, and are able to be approved but have not been issued their visas, those would be my second group of people that I feel should be issued immediately. And again, they're waiting for the ban to be removed. Now, it's important to understand groups 1 and group 2 don't actually need interviews again. So they don't need the embassies to be fully open for interviews. They just need the ban removed. And even if the TRO is there for a week or two, that could be enough time for all those people to be processed. And once they've got their visas, they're golden. They'll be okay. Those visas will be valid for travel within some 6 month process. Now, they're not out of the woods. Those people will need to have medicals again, because even if they're on AP, those medicals could be expiring by now. So they're going to incur some additional costs, but at least it would be the fairest thing that could happen for those people. So groups 1 and 2 really are concerned with whether the temporary restraining order is granted. So that's that group. The next group of people are people that have received the ready for scheduling email. Now, I'm talking very specifically about an email that says congratulations, something like congratulations, you sent in your DS260 and your documents and everything's been processed, you're ready for interview. That's what I call the ready for scheduling interview email. If you've received that, you're in my category 3. If you've received that and you haven't been interviewed, of course, you're in my category 3. You've been through all of the process, but you haven't necessarily yet been told an interview date, and so actually there's another group. Sorry, I was forgetting another group of people here, but I'll come back to those in a moment. So group 3, we'll call them still, are people that have got that ready for scheduling email, and those people need the TRO, need the lawsuit to work, but they also need the embassies to be reopened. And so there's a good chance that if we get the embassies reopened in time and we get the restraining order lifted, there's a good chance that we can have some of those cases at least scheduled in September. But I don't think all of the cases could be scheduled in September, because we're just running too short of time. The September interviews are normally communicated to people in 2NLs sent out in July. So about now, right? The VB will probably be published tomorrow or perhaps Friday. But immediately after the VB, normally we would see 2NLs being sent out. They won't be sent out this week or next week until the ban is removed, and with the embassies closed, it's not possible. So if we get a fast answer from the lawsuit and we get the embassies reopened, then we've got a chance of getting those people through. So that's a possibility, right? I'm going to go to my other category. I'm sorry about this, but I called that category of people who've got the ready for scheduling email as number 3. So I call this other group number 4. This other group, number 4, is people that had an interview set up and was cancelled. So that interview was maybe set up in March or April or May, but the interview was cancelled. Those people have had their cases already sent to the embassy, and they don't need KCC to send them another 2NL. They simply need the embassies to set up a new schedule, right? So those people could actually be interviewed in August if we get a pretty quick answer. I mean, August or September. But they don't need quite so much delay time, right? So again, those people have got a good chance. This is what I'm going to call group 4. They've got a good chance as well if the TRO is granted and if embassies are reopened, right? So that's 4 groups of people. The first 2 groups need the need the lawsuit to be won, or the TRO at least, but don't need the embassies opened. Group 3 and 4 need the embassies opened and the lawsuit to be won, right? Let's talk about group number 5. Group number 5 are in a tougher spot, frankly. Those people have not had the ready for scheduling email from KCC, and at this point there's probably more than enough people that have received the ready for scheduling email than we could see in the rest of the year. Even if we were able to reopen the embassies and have the lawsuit win tomorrow, there simply isn't enough time probably to see all of the people who've got they're ready for scheduling email already. So it's unlikely that many people will be added in terms of the 5th group by KCC finishing off the processing for those cases and letting more people know that they have the ready for scheduling situation. I believe KCC have continued to do that sort of work, but they haven't been sending out the emails. So that 5th group, I think, is probably at this point probably not going to get their opportunity, and it's probably the end of the road for those people, regardless of what happens. If any of those people are in Curtis Morrison's lawsuit, and if he were able to win, there's a possibility that his lawsuit could help those people through. But that's, I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, and it would still need for those people to be interviewed by September 30th. This point about people being interviewed after September 30th has not been proven well. It is possible for them to set aside some visas, but in all honesty, the best chance that Curtis Morrison's case has got is to force the government, or to encourage the government to act quickly to do things by September 30th. That would be better, and that's possible with the other conditions that I mentioned about. But other than that, my personal opinion is I don't think people are going to get cases approved after September 30th, even if a judge says that should be done. I don't believe it's ever going to happen. As we've seen in the other cases that have been in that same position, there's a stalemate, and I don't believe it can be resolved. So that's where those people stand. So there's 5 groups of people, 2 of which need the TRO, and that's all. 2 groups need the TRO and the embassies to reopen, and then finally the 5th group probably need to face facts now that their chance is gone. Nobody is going to be interviewed after September 30th. That deadline is not going to be extended. Tons of people have asked me, don't I think it's fair that it should be extended? Of course it would be fair, but it doesn't matter what's fair. It's a matter of what the law allows, and the law does not allow for the DV 2020 program to be extended past September 30th. It's as simple as that. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't matter how much we want it, it's just not going to happen. Okay, so I can see I'm losing light. It's night time here now, so I'll call it a day on this video as well. I'll try and get both of these videos uploaded this evening, and hopefully this has been helpful for you to understand where you stand. Alright, okay, keep well everybody. Alright, bye bye now.